Welcome. Grand rising, blissful afternoon. Wonderful, handsome, beautiful people, you. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Anda la Pantera. This is post new moon in Sagittarius. Messages for the collective and all signs, okay? Right before coming onto the live, I was hearing Babyface song, When Can I See You Again? And then it was more so of a mix of that era of R&B, 94, 95. Because when I looked, that song, When Can I See You Again? These dates could be of significance. May 20th of 94. And Water Runs Dry by Boyz II Men, April 11th, 95. So something in regards to those two dates. But specifically the way I heard the song, When Can I See You Again? It was part of a R&B mix that plays Water Runs Dry right after that song. So that could also be of a major significance. However, we are here to look into the vibe, see what's going on. If you are new, welcome, my love. If you are returning, a subscriber, major shout out to the members. You already know the vibes. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. This message is, as you can see from the title, post new moon in Sagittarius. New moon in Sagittarius that occurred at 28 degrees. All right. Right now, we do have the moon in the sign of Capricorn, while Mars is also in Capricorn. So all in all, right now we got the sun in Sag. It should already be at 29 degrees, actually. Let me just make sure. There could also be something going on with someone's lower back. I'm also picking up. Yeah, it's already at 29 degrees. Completion. All right, bet. But yeah, with the sun at 29 degrees, Mercury is at 11, Venus 25, all in Sagittarius. The truth at the edge type of vibes. Major revelations, blunt as clarity, a collective urge to name what has been avoided. Basically, the final exhale of a storyline, belief systems, false promises, ethics, yeah, surrendering to what is, okay? Surrendering to what is, especially when it comes to what has been avoided. Surrender to spirit, okay? The sun is at an anaretic degree, also known as 29th degree, which is a final exhale of a storyline, as we already mentioned. The collective basically right now is done pretending. Great to know. Better be. The inner compass is recalibrating towards what is real, what is aligned, and what is worth devoting energy to. So practically speaking, express yourself cleanly in a sense and choose the simplest true sentence. Decide what you actually stand for and move in a way that matches what it is that you stand for. And surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn a dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you more clarity, or even solve the problem. Yeah, with surrender to spirit at the bottom of the deck. So there's a major message here for you all. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Let spirit do what it do. Cheers if you're having your coffee or your tea. I'm having my café bustelo. With some cinnamon. Okay. That was none of y'all business, but I just made it your business, so whatever. And we got the moon and Mars in Capricorn right now. The moon really speaks to your emotional body, right? And with it being in the sign of Capricorn, is wearing an armor. So this is not a soft season with Mars also in Capricorn, making it sharp and functional. This is basically make sure you handle the shit. Stop dealing with things. Handle it. It's the handle it season. Putting boundaries, structures, follow throughs, accountabilities into place. From a high vibrational standpoint, you could find yourself getting more in tune about your reputation, responsibilities, leadership, execution, and long-term results because of the sign of Capricorn. If you're still someone experiencing some level of shadow work, you could find yourself being cold, impatient, harshly judging, misjudging, emotionally shutting down with the I'll do it all myself type of attitude. So practically speaking, with the moon and Mars in the sign of Capricorn, just be sure that your next step is correct. Capricorn also speaks to maturity, especially maturity that's gained after the lessons learned, so you know exactly what the correct step is. Surrender to play. Stubbornness. Surrender stubbornness. What's this? Surrender to what is. Interesting. Don't negotiate with distractions. Don't negotiate with distractions. Let actions speak. We also got, what we got? Cancer, Jupiter, retrograde. The past is rising, especially when it comes to the divine masculine, with Jupiter having that masculine energy, and in the sign of Cancer is the way the masculine's been nurtured, or the lack thereof, or absence thereof. So there could be situations of the past that are rising up, but for repair. So collectively, home, family, ancestral patterns are expanding into awareness. With Jupiter being in retrograde, doesn't only grow per se, it literally reveals what has been living under the floorboards. So there's a pull to return, reconcile, reparent the self, or redefine home as safety in the nervous system for the collective right now. So with Jupiter and Cancer retrograde, what is suggested is to nourish your foundations by getting the proper rest, food, putting your home in order, emotionally protecting yourself. And part of this could have to do with having conversations that are transparent, especially the conversation you have with yourself about what it means to be safe, rooted, and grounded right now. Yeah, surrender to complete healing in order to surrender to your soul's path and to surrender to passion. Part of that has to do with surrender your desire to control people, or surrender those, release those who have a desire to control you. Okay? Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Surrender, wow, to your soul's path. We're going to look at that. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. We got here. Yeah, there's certainly an unhealthy relationship that could be surrounding you, a family member, a familial or familiar energy or spirit, where it's time to now surrender that unhealthy relationship. Let go of healthy relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. What I'm picking up strongly on is this video I saw on TikTok where this dude was basically, he's homeless, and he was just basically telling the story of where he has family members that calls him just to see how he's holding up. See, that type of shit, when you, especially when you got family members that know that you're going through a certain situation and they're just calling to see how, you're holding up, and they're unable to help you, that would be an example of cutting that relationship out of your life, because that energetically is so out of balance, it's disgusting. Granted, each one has things that they have going on, But if you're someone that cannot assist someone, especially someone who's homeless, if you can't assist them, there's really no necessity to check on them, especially from that energetic standpoint where they were just literally just looking to see if he's still making it through, on basically on the verge of not really giving a fuck about whether he's doing okay, and just really wanting to see if, you know what I'm saying, they're going to continue with the way that they're moving. Because obviously when someone is when someone decides to not be in the comfort of a home with family members, obviously energetically something is completely off, where, you know, a person would take a much more challenging path. Not to say that he will remain there, but you know what I'm saying? That there's times where people are, you know, misjudging people about their decisions, but you don't know what the fuck they got going on as to why they're even deciding that path, because they'll be more at ease with themselves and with the universe that will protect them even in that type of situation. So obviously you know, it's always wise, you know, to make sure you have things in order and you're preparing yourself when you have to make a drastic change. In other cases, some people are so highly aware of the energy that is surrounding them and how toxic it is and how detrimental it could be to their health, literally, where they have to make certain decisions that others may not understand. You know what I'm saying? So this is why when it comes to judging or deciding, you know, a point of view that one has, you know, when it comes to someone else, be very mindful of that, because you really don't know the full story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, surrender resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. And that's part of it too, that once you surrender the resentment and you really see, yo, you know what? These are not the type of people that truly support me and honor me. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't be calling that young man asking how he's holding up. Give him, you know, a place to stay for, even if it's just for a little while, especially now that it's cold. But obviously, again, not knowing the full story, maybe he could be also a detriment to the environment. Who knows? I'm just speaking to the effects of someone who is not harmful to their surroundings, and what may be considered as harming to the surroundings as to why family members may not want to be around the person. It could be something as simple as there's a disagreement of beliefs where one side is religious and the other side is spiritual. Okay? So we got Saturn and Neptune and the North Node, actually, and part of Fortune in Pisces. This is huge. The collective is in a karmic wash cycle. Saturn in Pisces is bringing forth boundaries with energy, time, spirituality, escapism, and emotional leakage, while Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees is basically the peak of sensitivity plus illusions dissolving, where the veils for another part of the collective is thinning or dissolving completely. Collapsing fantasies, where this is also bringing forth truth to the surface through dreams, symptoms, synchronicities, and intuition. With the North Node in Pisces, destiny is pulling the collective inward in matters of surrender, faith as discipline, compassion with discernment. Part of Fortune in Pisces, the wind is spiritual cleanliness, quiet power, deep rest, psychic protection, sacred solitude. All in all, protect your field, reduce the noise, close any energetic tabs, and let endings end. Let endings do what it's actually doing. Gratitude for the thumbs up for those of you that are coming in, which is highly respectful in the sense of when you walk into someone's home and you are not to walk around their home with shoes on. That's the equivalent of a thumbs up in these lives. So, a lot of y'all disrespectful. A lot of y'all just be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, shout out to y'all that have clicked the thumbs up. Whether if it's on the live or the replay. I'm going to tell you something about respect, energy. Even if, yes, you see this live going, I may not see you physically watching the video energetically. Oh yeah, there's a very high awareness as to what is surrounding the frequency, and the consequences move in the same way as if it were in a physical representation. So if the standard requirement before walking into my home is to take your shoes off at the door and wash your hands, and you don't do that, your ass getting the fuck out. Back to the message. Surrender to divine time and surrender to rest and sleep. Okay? Let spirit do what spirit do. Uranus and Taurus. This, you know what that is? That's basically the collective money stories unstable in the old way and innovative in a new way. Values are changing fast. What one will tolerate for income, what security means, what is worth paying for, what is worth building, is being revitalized, reconstructed through the simplification of expenses, diversifying one's skills, and building stability through adaptability. With Lilith in Scorpio right now, where's she at? 29. It's a lot of closing. Lilith in Scorpio is bringing forth basically a final confrontation when it comes to 8th house Scorpio matters, control, secrecy, power games, sexual politics, debts, obligation, entanglements, and emotional manipulation. Anything hidden that cannot survive truth is under pressure right now. So the quicker you name the manipulation, the better the exit energy is going to be. Because it's really time to exit the energetic contracts that require you to betray yourself. Requires you to betray yourself. That is some wild shit if you ask me. So it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be hard or challenging to release anything that requires you to betray yourself, your time, your freedom, your skill set, your authenticity. You know what I'm saying? And Chiron in Aries right now is actually helping with bringing any type of wounding in connection to one's identity. Aries in connection to the first house of identity. It's being healed through brave embodiment. Right now it's at 22 degrees. So collectively the wound is, I'm not safe to be fully me. That would be the statement of Chiron and Aries right now. Feeling the lack or the absence of safety to fully be yourself. The medicine here at this time would be sovereign self-definition without apology, calm, clear, and direct. With the retrograde aspects added to it, this is reclaiming self after people-pleasing, shrinking, or performance strength. So practically speaking, act from identity, not reaction. Choose self-respect as a daily practice. So all in all, tell the truth. Big Sagittarius energy, take action. Capricorn, Moon, and Mars. Protect the unseen, Pisces, and restructure your alliances and values, Aquarius, Taurus, so your life matches your soul's standards. Surrender to non-action. What are we talking about? Why did this come out? It's because I have to do with someone who utilizes the Bible, or just speaking of religion, someone could be really having these type of misunderstandings in regards to the usage of Bibles. Because that notification just came across the screen too. What's this? Surrender to non-action. Moon in Libra. Two of Swords. Mental conflict. About what? What is the collect? This has to do with your emotions, obviously, in a partnership. Something wasn't successful as you expected it to be. Why is that? What was the lesson? The lesson is, the understanding of the lesson is where the success is. Not in the success as to something thriving the way you expected it to. Because what you expected about this partnership had everything to do with the wounded version of yourself. Knight of Cups, literally, okay. In terms of something hidden, unseen that's coming to the surface. But the Knight of Cups also has to do something, okay, you could have been invited somewhere and someone didn't follow through. Someone could be repeating that cycle in terms of sending out an invitation and someone not following through. That's just your sign to no longer allow that type of energy into your space. This is very significant, the fact that they landed off the left. So right brain energy, intuition was this, what you got. The Queen of Swords. Wow. So for some of this has to do with the one-on-one partnership, or Libra specifically, where it's time for you to hold the energy back. If you don't, something happens where this could be that, where there's some sort of ghosting that occurs, and that's the Tower moment, because you're not supposed to move forward with this energy. Surrender to non-action. Because it's time for you to focus on your own power. It's time to focus on your own skill set, your own authenticity, the truth of who you are. Capricorn energy here strongly, specifically Sun in Capricorn here. Hold on, let me see. Because these are cardinal signs. Somebody is real bold. Real bold. These are both Libra cards here. Let me see something. Libra, Pisces is highly significant in Aquarius. I feel someone has really grown and matured to the point that you recognize you really don't got to respond to something or a person. Especially if it's not in a teaching type of setting. Because that's the type of energy that has actually entered the space, where it was someone you were supposed to guide or teach, but it became more intimate than it was supposed to. It's the vibe of somebody moving beside themselves, in a sense. Why? And then the song When Can I See You Again, right after Water Runs Dry, Boys to Men, Babyface Boys. Somebody has grown. Okay. So someone has, this is given a very strong, what's the word? Compromising type of energy. Compromises are the results of some form of disrespect, where now there has to be a compromise that occurs, whether the decision is to move forward. Hold on. I'm gonna actually get my astral cards here. So I'm going to have to separate them from my Isis Oracle really quickly. Gratitude for the respect and coming into the live and hitting that thumbs up. Allowing you to operate beautifully and smoothly with the laws of the universe. Yes, indeed. Okay, do I have them all? Yes, I do. Perfect. Now let's take a look. Surrender to non-action. Show me what this is here. Show the truth of what this is here. Mars. Mars is in Capricorn. Okay. Yeah. This is more so about executing and not so much getting into an argument. The fact that Mars is in Capricorn. This is, okay. The consequences. Something about the consequences are moving into play. The consequences. And this is some shit because these two are in Capricorn. So the moon in Capricorn is hardening your emotional field, where this is going to make people less patient with energies of chaos, excuses, or any type of emotional leakage. It's basically not tolerating that bullshit no more. And this is where feelings are more so processed privately and not necessarily performed. So if you're someone with the moon in Capricorn, you could be real stern and strict when it comes to who and what you have around you. Like you really don't play no games about your emotional body. With the moon in Capricorn, shit. Mars in Capricorn, which is where it's exalted, actually, is decisive, efficient, and relentless. It does not argue, it executes. Basically the energy, once again, of consequences finally arriving. What has not been handled will now be handled for you by systems, authorities, timelines, or reality itself. This is what I'm saying about going into spaces where all people have to do is hit the thumbs up button as a proper energy exchange, and they just show up places, which is symbolic of them showing up to places and doing whatever the fuck they want to do, thinking they're not going to get the consequences of doing that. You're fucked. Not over here. I don't have to see you face to face. That's just the way energy flows. And then people wonder why, when they're calling on certain manifestations and, you know, desires that they want or desires that they desire into their life, everything is being tallied up as to the way you move in every aspect of your life and what it is that you receive thereafter. People may think, oh, it's going overboard or looking into things too much. No, that's what the fuck it is. That's just what it is. When you hear you receive what you give, that's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So, big time. Scorpio. Yeah, so it's over for that. It's so over for that. The energy is intense when it comes to bringing things to being handled. Clean boundaries, sustainable efforts at this point. Shit. So the fact that Scorpio is here, Scorpio's ruled is, okay, one of them is Mars, but it's mainly ruled by Pluto. And Pluto's in Aquarius. This is something that's active for the long term. So what does this mean? So Power dynamics in communities, movements, friend groups, and online spaces are being exposed. Old hierarchies fracture, decentralized authorities rises, and individuals are leaving groups that demand conformity or silence. Belonging is no longer based on proximity or ideology, but on shared integrity and future vision. So basically, with that being said, it's time to get on one's P's and Q's as to the way one is moving, again, in all areas of life. Why is that even coming out this way? It is Saturday. What planetary hour am I in right now? That makes sense. Mercury, of course it would be flying from the mouth like that. Then we going into a moon hour based on location, however. Let me see. Consequences are inevitable right now with Mars and the moon. Can I have one more before I go into the tarot to clarify this? This is funny. I'm not gonna hold you. This is funny, but it's not, but it is. It's on some I told you so. I told you so. This could also be the energy of where people don't take on what it is that you've told them in advice of some sort and playing along as if they're actually moving according to the advice that they deeply resonate with, and they just sit there and don't listen to what's being told, and they just continue on and fuck themselves over because they don't listen. Then we have Jupiter here. Wow. Big Zeus energy, big Sag energy. Integration of life lessons with the 5th house at the bottom of the deck. So in matters of love, here's the way I'm seeing it: as a bridge, as a messenger that's basically a bridge. Whether the messages that resonate with you, if you choose to utilize them, it allows you to ascend and expand. If you choose not to, then you're going to bring yourself back to the old version times infinite because of ignorance. So with this showing up here, the way this is right now with the 5th house at the bottom of the deck, some of you are calling in or desiring a fruitful relationship or wanting to experience romance in a way that's much more enjoyable than it used to be in the past. However, some will experience that. The others that don't is because they're still moving in ways that is a reflection of betraying oneself, where you know what it is that you have to do, but just refrain from doing it because you're being lazy about it. With the incense showing through now, godly. Let me get some of these tarot cards here. 33, 34. Okay. 33, 34. I'm getting the vibe of the energy is amazing. Only if you listen. Only if you listen. And I'm not saying listen precisely to what I'm saying in these messages. Listen to what it is that your body is resonating with. Your heart and mind and coherence is telling you, yo, let's go this way, because this way is where the abundance is. And that level of conversation, internal conversation, is coming from a space where you're not in this energy of fear, guilt, shame, doubting yourself. This keeps showing up. For the past 3 readings that we've done so far, this 8 of Cups keeps showing up. What's behind it? 10 of Wands. It's time to put the burdens to rest. Leave it alone. Just stop carrying other people's shit. Stop carrying other people's shit, literally. And sacrificing yourself. Capricorn energy here. Queen of Pentacles, the Magician. Let me see. Okay. You know what I'm picking up on this here, where some of y'all got to stop that bullshit where you feel as though someone is attacking you. The only way a person's going to attack you is if you allow yourself to process that thought over and over and over again that someone is attacking you. Because notice 1222 on the timer. Because notice how often when people move that way, you encounter certain portals and dimensions as far as lives on social media or whatever, where that's the constant fucking story. And if you don't know yourself, you're gonna sit there and resonate with something that you have moved on past a long time ago. And for some of you, the reason why you may even be encountering such type of energies is because you may carry a role as a bridge as well, where you are the one that's carrying the eyes of balance and judgment. That way, this type of shit gets erased and removed and dissolved because it's not conducive to the collective. Because obviously someone is utilizing things to assist the collective, but it's more so them projecting their story onto the collective, which is not fucking helpful. Okay. Thirty-three, 34 brings a message that it's time to move forward with new realizations about your career, available resources, ambitions, and goals, and the way you manage your life. A timely opportunity or situation brings many pieces of the puzzles together for you. You have remembered through learning many invaluable lessons and have been patient and determined in your efforts, and now is the time to reap your rewards. Listen to your intuition, inner wisdom, and angelic guidance to glean insight, assistance, and support whenever you feel they are required. All you have to do is ask. But again, as mentioned in the new moon in Sagittarius message, when you're asking, ask without doubt. Before you get into a position of asking your angels, spirit guides, ancestors for anything, get into a space where you're bold enough, courageous enough, and it's the version of you that has exactly what it is that you're asking for. Be an actor real quick. Get into, what's the word that they say? Get into character, at least for that moment, and build on that. And as you're building on that, you'll start to notice the way you move in situations that actually, you're honoring yourself. The UK is so significant because the way I just said actually, it was giving real UK vibes. In it. Proper thing. Okay, let's see. Do that. All right. What was it saying? The chat. Ooh, Ace of Swords. 33, 34 brings it to a 4 as well, foundation. Set your intentions with greater purpose in mind and follow through with your plan of action with determination. Someone's nervous, scared to take that leap or make that decision, waiting to be ready. But remember, the energy that you're waiting for and being ready to take that next step, the energy of being ready only comes when you take that next step. Ooh. There goes the 4, the Emperor. Yeah. What's this Emperor doing here? With the, ooh. Okay, Divine Feminine. You about to receive your upgrade when it comes to this 5th house energy. Your spiritual, cosmic, galactic, divine counterpart. This could even be someone that it's so stable, solid structures, maturity, where you're able to learn from one another or guide each other without there being some type of dynamic of a power trip. Oof. big time. Ace of Cups, new love. When can I see you again? And there's a tow truck with the red reef on it. Well, one of those circle things, zero or reset of the root, from the root of it. That could also be symbolic here for someone when it comes to any type of tension in your lower back. Saturn, Saturnian lessons. Interesting. Let me see. That right there. Let me see. Hold on. You've been working on yourself, going through these uncomfortable situations. Page of Pentacles, healing. You've been studying quite a bit. They go to Knight of Cups. There's an offer that's, oh yes, and this communication that's coming through is going to move quite quickly. It's destined. I'm getting more of a Wheel of Fortune type of vibes. Timeline alignment. Timeline alignment. Timeline alignment. Wow. A reunion of spirits and souls. After a moment of sleepless nights, having the, oh, okay, there goes the strength and courage. This is what I mean. When you're going to your that which you yield to of a higher power, you're gonna have to go in there with strength and courage, not this level of anxiety and worry and fear and hope and all that other extra shit. No. Gratitude for the 100 gratitude, Misa. Mercury and Cancer, 3 of Cups. This is a reconciliation of the version of you that is moving from a much higher dimension. So you're stepping into a different parallel universe you're connected to, where you align with the Emperor. I'm going, you know, This is gonna be fun. This would certainly be a fun partnership as well, because the inner child will have space to be. 4222 just showed up. Because the moon and Mars is in Capricorn and this is coming out right now, this is a type of connection where both people know exactly what it is that they desire in a partnership, and things move quickly, but it's because it's destined to. And this is where you find where a man notices, no, she's my one, and she sees him more so as that's him, that's my one. And a much more higher level of commitment is seated, planted. It could be a sharing of a dwelling space as well. Welcome, Pantera Soul Fam, Fatima. Welcome, my love. 4322. What's this? 5 of Cups. 4322. 4322 on the timer. That's the Emperor. The Empress 22. Building. Past. Leaving behind past situations. There goes the 8 of Cups, literally. So both of you, 43, both of you share an energetic story in regards to where you have integrated what has occurred that led to you integrating the lessons that allows you now to step into a position of abundance with a masculine who is obviously emotionally intelligent and aware. And when I'm saying masculine, I'm not necessarily meaning a man as in a male. Masculine and feminine in terms of the energy itself. Masculine, the logic, simply stated. Feminine, the intuition, and the beautiful merge between the two, the wholeness between the two. Seven of Wands. Mars and Leo. Yeah, see. The passion is very strong here. you could have been to yourself for a while, which allowed the universe to align you perfectly with the energy that matches your frequency and what you have evolved into and will continue to evolve even further. Because that could have been a situation in the past as well where you may have aligned with an energy and it wasn't fully what you were intent. There goes that energy where something didn't go as planned as you expected it to, but it did actually, because there was still a part of a lesson you were coming into alignment with. So instead of you meeting up with the version or a counterpart that matches up to where you have evolved and where you'll continue to evolve to, has everything to do with the lessons you've learned and connecting with those from the version of you evolving, but they were in alignment to the version of you that will continue to evolve even further. But now the story ends, that old story ends, and this is what's coming into play. Oh, and quickly too with the Chariot. Very much so. Gratitude for the 1111 Cash App. Michelle, gratitude. We want ooh, wow, okay. What we have here? 5 of Wands. Ooh, another 5. And that's the conversation. With the 5 showing up, it's the test of the Hierophant, or the test of higher levels of commitment. This could also be where the masculine is ready to receive information and guidance from the feminine, in the sense of the connection between the High Priest and the High Priestess, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius, which is where it's at right now, to be exact. So this is going to bring forth conversations that are blunt, not subtle, and the messages are very direct. Yeah, in the sense of this masculine being able to hear about the feminine side, in a sense, it's because the messages could be so direct and blunt where it may seem as though it could come across as confrontational, but not in this type of union. In the past, it could have been, because there was a misalignment. Where the truth is spoken without ornaments, in a sense. It's not covered at all. Like, you're really able to speak your truth, and this connection that's coming towards you, it's part of your manifestation, that's for sure. Or resonance, more of an alignment. Because the Magician is all 4 elements. Let's see what's helping you move forward. What's the element helping the collective move forward in this? What's the element helping the collective move forward? Emotions, 9 of Cups, Jupiter and Pisces. What's the challenge? Wow. Fuck. That's spot on. The 8 of Wands coming out again. So it's a conversation in regards to emotions. Because in the past, people may have been in situations where, in not understanding your own emotions, the conversations you would have with the partner were successful, because it was more so getting them to understand you, and there was still a absence of understanding yourself. So the dialogue would come through more as a combative type of energy, rather than a desired of fulfillment, feeling fulfilled through that conversation, feeling fulfilled through that conversation. So the journey had everything to do with knowing yourself more so. I mean, yeah, before you can be, rewarded or gifted or receive what it is that is the desires of your heart, you have to really be able to have the vessel, the mentality, the mechanics to be able to nurture it, you know? Okay, well, there's that. So I want to look a little bit more into that surrender to non-action, though. So let me see. Can we get a little bit more confirmation here in regards to the surrender to non-action? You know what? Where is... Let me get these. Over here. Okay, here we go. 50, 55. Let's go and see the what's okay. Let's see. One more. 5111. 50, 55, 5111. Alignment within the next few cycles. Surrender to non-action within the next few cycles. What about this? Let's see. There goes the fucking compromise. Wow. It's a past person. Some of you are having to make a decision between a past person and the right now. The right now, you may have recently met them or you will be. It's the energy of when you are embarking on a new partnership and energies of the past sense that and they'll attempt to come in to distract you. 5222. However, what's actually helping you right now, if you allow it to, is what we spoke to in the very beginning here, with the moon and Mars being in the early degrees of Capricorn, where you're no longer negotiating with distractions. Because this is a distraction. A compromise, that's literally a distraction, because something happened where there was some level of disrespect where now there has to be a compromise. That's the only time you're compromising on some shit. Or something was not really in alignment. Soulmate, children, this could be... Someone developed a high level of anxiety because of a past relationship. It might have started from when you were a child. Because the way I just sounded just now, it sounded as though someone is nervous to speak. You'll speak your truth, but it makes your palms sweat. It's not the easiest thing for you to do. And it's only because, to be honest, you don't trust yourself about what it is that you're saying. And you're just grasping, this new evolved version of yourself. This is collective, beloved. It's collective. So just allow what resonates to resonate. But yeah. Because as long as you're here, I'm picking up on the vibes of whoever is here. Especially if you're in the chat. You're so welcome, of course. Gratitude for asking so beautifully. I sensed it. Let me see here. Ooh, flirt. Yeah, see? Someone could be coming back from the past with flirtatious energy. Let's say you don't have children at this time, or you and this person don't have children. They could be flirting in that way where they're having conversations about what they desire, and then they start giving little hints in regards to, oh, you know, certain parts of your appearances and things of that nature. What's going on, goddess? Welcome. Let me see. Within the next few cycles, compromise, soulmate. So this could be someone you were on a twin flame journey with, in the sense of you both reflected back each other's wounds. And once you transcend those wounds is when that person can now become more of a soulmate, rather than a constant back and forth. Yeah, 55-33, mastering that in order for there to be a change. Either to be more aware of bodily symptoms, or you are and you're noticing a pattern that when something bothers you, you seem to always receive communication, or something happens between you and another person. You're seeing the pattern that you may have not seen. Let's see. Don't stop, okay? Yeah, you're seeing the pattern. Keep going. All right, let me see. You're seeing the pattern. Keep going. Something about those synchronicities too. 33, 34, 50, 55, 51, 11, 42, 22, 52, 22. My eyes just got a little bit watery just now. Ask your angels. And once again, when you're going to ask your angels, your spirit guides, and ancestors, go in there courageous so they can really help you. Because put it this way, let's say you're asking your spirit guides and ancestors to help you with something. They can only help you to the degree, not only, but when it comes to them helping you, they'll help you in a way based on the level of what it is that you can tolerate, in the sense that you ask for their assistance and you're hopeful in a state of fear. They may have to take a little bit longer or less intense measures to assist you, versus you going up in there with strength, courage, and faith. They going balls out protecting you and making sure shit get handled once and for all, and that shit might happen even quicker. It's basically being in at the playground, and you have older siblings and there's other children bothering you, but then you tell your siblings, they bothered me, but don't go so hard on it. That type of, no, don't do that, because some of y'all got some ancestors that they can't help you because you're moving in there scared and shit, or the universe will take its time in the way it assists you, because just look at it from a perspective that it's giving you what you are sure about. So if you're more sure about the doubt and fear and the hope, that's what you're going to receive. In the sense of the universe not necessarily knowing verbatim what specifically is happening to you physically, but energetically, it's focused on what it is that you are more focused on. And whatever that angle, frequency, vibration is, it's what is going to respond to you back with. Okay? Let's see. The fact that no actual zodiac signs came out, but planets and houses, is quite intriguing. So I'm going to pull another one to see if a sign comes out. 5929. Archangel Michael 929, bringing forth the change, cutting things at the root. Yes, swiftly. You heard that through the cards. Yeah, don't call on Archangel Michael if you move is scared. Don't do it. You better leave that one right there alone. Okay. Healing family issues, especially if it has to do with family matters too. A year from now, this could be right now, 1 year now from last year, or a year from now. Healing family issues. Let me see what's going on here. 6009, 6009. Yeah, certainly family, because that's the glyph of Cancer, the 6 and the 9, and 00 in the center. So 0 point energy, narrowing it down, obsolete. Let me see. That's just what's coming through here. Let's see. Did I just go through the whole deck? And we want to go to the astrology cards. I love when this happens. When this happens, oh yeah. Okay, where are we? So it does have to do with romance, that's for sure. Vamos a ver, let's see. Third house, communication. Another house, house of Gemini. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me look. Who is that? This is giving. What is that? Pisces. Why Pisces be coming up this much now? In terms of Taurus energy, Uranus and Taurus. Say less, mean more. The end of over-explaining. Choosing precision over persuasion. So, a family situation affecting your romance. Healing family issues when it comes to communication. The way you heal that, you feel the way you feel, silence is the key. Some of you are literally just, it's the vibe of looking for closure, or put it this way, when you're seeking someone to understand you, to gain closure, you're never going to receive that closure, especially if you're seeking the understanding as to why you want something closed. So just close it out. You could even be feeling the intensity of that once again with the moon in Capricorn and Mars in Capricorn right now over these next 48 hours. Harness the energy of what you're feeling when it comes to putting your foot down and being sure about your next move. Especially in this here situation of a past relationship that could be attempting to make its way either physically back into your life or through nostalgia or through your own thoughts. Let me see. The moon is on its own one right now, in the fact that, look at that, it's still not a sign. Vesta. It's so bullshit. Yeah. Oh, shit. 12th house vibes, because it's how hidden this feels. This is about withdrawing without apology, closing energetic loops, especially unfinished conversations that just running up the bill, creating emotional debts, and just enhancing lingering ass attachments. It's time to reduce the stimulation and increase the silence, basically. And still not another zodiac sign. Maybe not, Sarah. I don't think so. No, you're not. Saturn, the part of you that he's, because that's not what we do here. Respectfully, that is not what we do here. Anyway, Saturn. That was literally Saturn talking to on some real shit. Oh shit. On some focus on yourself. $66, 24, 666. And there we go. Somebody's going through a Saturn return soon. Saturn Aquarius. So, Aquarius has entered the building. Mars, Aquarius, Moon, Aquarius, Jupiter, Aquarius, Saturn, Aquarius. Not trippy. Somebody's about to get a phone call. Just the way what I just heard, it sounded as though someone's phone was vibrating. What am I looking at? Oh, third. It could be a Sag, Scorpio rising, depending on degree. What is this communication someone is having here with friends? Whoa. Yeah, somebody could be a Sagittarius rising. Literally, as a Sag rising, Aquarius might rule your third house depending on the degree. Interesting. Disciplined when it comes to your worth. I'm filling out, what is this communication amongst quote unquote friends? As far as a family that one has built for themselves. What is this connection to your romance, your love life, the collective love life here? The Tower. Wow. Okay, here we fucking go. Telling you. You know what? That could be the situation here with this compromise when it comes to a past person. Tell me who you with and I'll tell you who you are. Some of you could have people around you because of the person that you're with or the type of energies you can pull when it comes to romance, and that's the only reason why they around you. You may you may have this magnetism when it comes to you attracting people who are extremely great looking. It's been about this for so long. Created, I'm ready to let that baby bird fly. I hear that shit. I hear you, boo. There's really something that is shocking when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? A social group, a group of people, or a person within a social group that one was in that had an effect on their romance, or this is part of a lesson within family that trickled into the type of partners one attracted or was magnetic to or towards, as well as social relationships and friends. They expect me to tell you I'm exhausted. You're on a diet. Y'all better leave that Gemini alone. Y'all better leave my y'all better leave my air partners alone, bruh. What? Shit. What's this tower? We be playing, bruh. I feel as though Gemini Sagittarius axis is the most ambiguous of all of the six. You just never know what you're gonna get with this. You have friends. Well, there goes your answer. You answered your own question right there. If that's what it is, one, they're not your friends. Well, they exactly that. They are your friends. The way you if you've been here on this channel, you already know what I'm about to say. That's what friends do. I'm more of a tribe type of, you know what I'm saying, soul family type of vibes when the shit's real, you know, and each one can grow with the other. But friends, what's the abbreviation for Friday, gang? FRI. What is the ruling planet of Friday? Venus. What does Venus speak on? Core values, trusting, or the senses of your body, and also trusting it. Then you have the FRI right before the word END. They do exactly what they're supposed to do when it comes to a cycle that ends. It's almost as if it's basically the way destined enemies move, where there's a cycle in your life that ends, that's not something that you will forget, and those type of energies attempt to linger around and recreate the whole fucking scenario, whatever which way they do. But energetically, the root of it is that I don't fuck with you anymore, you don't fuck with me, so why is you here? You know, so there's that. All right, the towers being real precise here. Y'all see what's going on. What's the tower? What is the tower? Surprise, surprise, huh? And that's what came out yesterday. Yeah, this disruption has to happen for your new beginning. So this could be where, yep, some of you are identifying yourself exactly as who you are yourself. You know yourself, and then you're no longer hiding that or dimming your light amongst people who, you know what I'm saying, that's, you can tell that they felt uncomfortable around you because of who you truly are. And you recognize that as well, where you actually dimmed yourself just a bit, but not no more. That's what this tower is saying. You about to bust right through a new beginning here when it comes to what you're passionate about. That's for fucking sure. 74-44. Real shit. Yeah, this is a tower right here. Ooh, temperance. You could be a Sagittarius rising. And this is the season of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius says, I see. You seeing the God version of you. That could be part of a discussion too, where people want to just speak on labels of things, but not truly understand the mechanics. So take that the way it resonates, where people are just more so focused on the labels, but don't really understand the fucking mechanics. And this is why shit don't be moving as smoothly as it should. 75-22. You know what I'm saying? That's 12-22. So there was a time in the video where we mentioned 12-22 in the beginning, which could also be a significance. And there we have the competition, but also part of one's own training season when it comes to really, you know, aligning with what it is that you enjoy creating that brings you joy. Saturn and Leo, Saturn is going to restrict a lot of those things when it comes to what you enjoy creating, to make sure that's something you truly enjoy doing. And that could have been a discussion amongst a social group or friends where you're choosing to go a different avenue, and because they don't have that level of experience, they don't have the blood that's flowing through your body. It's the blood that is in your body is in your body. The blood that's in their body is in their body. And they're moving as though they can tell you which way to move, but they don't, you know what I'm saying, analyze the experiences you've gone through to even make that decision to take that path. Leaves are flying right now. Let them fall. Let them fall and fly away. Them leaves was moving just now. Shit. Because this could be a dynamic between earth and air. Earth and air. You could be a air sun, earth sun, Sagittarius rising, as far as specifics to it. Show me the Five of Wands. Different. Let's go to a different one. Oh, speak on it. Closing of a cycle. That's for fuck sure. Because that was getting in the way of your victory and success. These two together is the Six of Wands, Jupiter and Leo. The lessons that you've integrated, Saturn and Leo, when it comes to things that you enjoy creating, Jupiter now blisses you with abundance of it. Part of this abundance also has to do with the masculine. You're all air. Sheesh. When did Scorpio come up? Scorpio came up at the bottom of the spread earlier in the live. Earlier, yeah. Let's see. Jum. Jummy jum. Oop. Venus and Scorpio. As we're speaking on it. So. What's behind this? So the fact that this Three of Wands is behind this, there's a significant person from the past that's coming back proposing a compromise. And it has the energy or the reflection posing. So something about posing as if they can go as deep emotionally as you desired, but they weren't able to bring that forward. Now I'm hearing sirens. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. 106. Capricorn. Specifically, what we at with that? That's Three of Pentacles. This could be someone coming back with the proposal to compromise, to work with you, to build with you. They didn't see you as the only option. They saw you as a choice before. But that also helped you when it came to you recognizing what you're willing and can do, and where you may have overstepped possibly your own boundaries and helping people, investing in other people, when now you're just more focused on investing in yourself, and that's when people show their true colors. You kept to yourself what you really enjoyed, though. What allowed you to be in this feminine frequency, not in terms of feminine, once again, as a woman or female, feminine in terms of how deep you would want to go with the way you feel, in alignment to your intuition. You kept that to yourself, and for someone that was a problem. Or there could have been this energy in regards to, you may be able to have a conversation with one particular person, you're all mutual friends or whatever, and you're able to have a certain conversation with one that you know you really can't have with another because they're not fully there yet to even, you know what I'm saying, grasp what you're actually saying. And because they may feel envious of the other connection, that's a clear indication to cut that person out. Like, it's just really, yeah, somebody's coming through with the message. This could be within 3 cycles, 3 weeks, within, within blah, 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 blah. Within 3 weeks or 3 cycles. What's this? What is that? The Hangman. So obviously a conversation with someone, there goes the Pisces vibes coming through again. But this is more so having to do with deciding if something should be said. Silence is also, okay, deciding on the communication, whether something has to be said or not. Because something has been on hold. Something that felt, someone felt they had to say something but didn't say, and they had it on hold. This could even be having to do with observing the situation a little bit longer. Observing the situation a little bit longer. Yeah, literally, shit. Waiting. Saturn and Taurus. Waiting to see if there's an alignment of values and maturity. And there wasn't. Yeah, see, someone felt left out completely. It's a lot of This is certainly an earth sign, for sure. 5 and 7, that's Taurus. Let me see. Show me the Page of Pentacles. Show me the Page of Pentacles. Show me the Page of Pentacles. Leo. Now, here's the thing. This is saying this, Jupiter and Leo. Saturn and Leo. The Page of Pentacles is the one with all the drama, basically. Show me 7 with the 5 of Pentacles. Hold on. Uranus and the 6th house. Could be someone you work with. Oh, see, for fuck's sakes. because that's an axis of hidden enemies too. 6th house, Virgo, 12th house, Pisces. I just heard undercover. Undercover. Oh God. What's this change here? This abrupt change, because that's the Tower also. Literally, the Tower's right there. Fast movement forward, precise movement forward. And then 7 of Cups. Again, once there's a recognition of and taking action of that recognition that you're not just any option. You're not an option. You're it. You're that one to, to make things blossom. And sometimes literally you're that one that makes things blossom. There goes the 3 of Wands right there again. With the Ace of Wands coming up out the Tower here. The moment you leave this dysfunctional ass group or person, your abundance and stability that may even involve romance comes flying towards you. 1313 on the time. 8635. You could be born the year of 86 and someone could be 35 years old. So that's 1990. Just about, right? Yeah. The person that's 35 when they were 4, something really significant happened in their life that is the reason as to why they are the way they are today. Because it brought me back to When Can I See You Again, Babyface, which was 94, May 20th. And Water Runs Dry, Boys to Men. What was that? 4/11/95. So the age of 4 and 5 is very significant. What happened? 10 of Pentacles was screaming inheritance. Let me see. And they inherited a way of being. Wow, the Tower shows up again. And that's what stops now. No longer sacrificing themselves to save someone else or other people from their Tower moments. Literally. And until you release these energies of people or groups, your abundance that will suddenly just come to you because you're disconnected from energies that are not in alignment. Your abundance, true support, true love, you know what I'm saying? Generational wealth starts to align itself with you because you're not surrounded by things that will sabotage it. Look at that. Split the deck, abundance. What's behind that? Helps, yeah. Helpful people, absolutely. You see? Worth waiting for. It was, yeah, it'll be all worth it. Especially looking at it from a higher perspective in regards to, aligning with your heart's desires, but making sure that you are mechanically in tune to be able to nurture it. Love that. Oof, there goes the Emperor. But earlier, the Emperor came out with the Queen of Pentacles, and now behind the Emperor, you have the Queen of Cups. So this Emperor energy could have gone through situations with specific feminine Cancerians Capricorn, or this has to do with that 4th 10th house axis, that you allow yourself to be recognized for your achievements as far as you have healed the root of any situation that will prevent you from doing so. 4th house energy. Wow. Well, alrighty then. Yeah, ooh, wow. 10th house was sitting here this whole time. Yeah. It's just really honoring and mastering the importance of energy and what you have around you and the way the environment, the universe responds to you. You know? Fine-tuning your reality so the shit makes sense and it's easier for you to make decisions when it comes to what you choose to have around you and whatnot. You know what I mean? Let's see. I just heard Holly Berry. Holly Berry. That haircut could be significant. That short Holly Berry cut, pixie cuts. Yes, that's what you call them. Her complexion is what I'm being drawn to. Holly Berry's complexion. Little birdie, communication, 7 of Pentacles, long and waited for. $36, 6 of Wands. The cross at a crossroads. Communication coming in that actually has you cross the road. Okay. Something's right across from you. So this could be an opposite sign as well. If you're an Aries, situation could have to do with the Libra. We got King of Wands here, Leo. So Aquarius, again. Or 11th house matters, social groups, friendships, whatever. What am I looking for? Oh. Where they at? Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. It's 120 right now. That's Aquarius on your ass. Ooh, 94. Interesting. What up, shawty? 220 if you want an East Coast. No papers. Let's see. Oh, Wheel of Karma. Karma, destined. Inevitable, cause and effect, divine intervention. The Tower showing up again in its own way. Fortune. Part of fortune right now is in Pisces. Oh, shit. Psychic cleanliness. What the fuck? So what's not spiritually cleansed or clean cannot continue with you. Now, the endings in this type of energy is not dramatic. They are more so quiet and also irreversible. So once this end is once and for all type shit. No looking back. No looking back. Certainly not changing your mind once you make a decision. There goes Gemini. I was just about to say, especially if it's air signs. Once they go, they gone. Okay, they gone with the wind. Okay. So I told you to stop playing. Yep. Mm-hmm. That shit is funny. Yo. That pause is gonna be a pause for eternity. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's suspend between two things. That was that hangman sitting in between the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. The external environment is the Page of Pentacles. It could have something to do with the Leo, someone attempting to be constantly one up on somebody. Meanwhile, you helping them with what it is that they're choosing to be one up on when it comes to you. Yo. Let me stop laughing. This could be some serious shit for somebody right now. But, yeah, man. Gotta laugh it off. Fuck it. Laugh it off. It'll help you to recalibrate your system. 9630. Exactly. Oh, there goes the crossroads. That's literally why I picked this deck up, too. For real, for real. Direction change. The moment of truth. Okay. Wait. This is 15 right here. 20 altogether. Judgment. 39, 12, 3. This has to do with communication for sure. You got 369 showing up. This is some shit. Okay. 369 right there. This is 20. This is what I mean about inevitable shifts when it comes to, oh, let's not forget that comment too, 3-Eye Atlas. That's another thing that's going to actually be helping the collective to move in a way that is not, allowing you to betray yourself anymore. It's creating an upgrade within the grid of the earth, which is also connected to the human body and the changes that are happening in the processor, which is your brain. And when you think of Atlas in terms of the human body, that's literally the base of your skull. The foundation of your mind's eye that we call third eye, but initially more so the first eye. So there is a communication of something that is extraterrestrial that's having an effect on the collective, where there may have been an absence of change, constantly going through some lessons or karma. Now the wheel is turning and now there's going to be a direction shift. Let's see what else shows up here. Specifically things that have to do with your youth, but this is also mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, which has to do with change, being able to adapt, breaking free from any sort of insecurity that were more so connected to one's hormones. So this is more, having to do with things that are happening on a DNA level and releasing that. 9916 on the, 16 is the Tower card. And once again, this is the Tower. Sudden upheaval, sudden change. Here is some more clarification. Even when speaking into the vibe of 3-Eye Atlas, the energy becomes much more calmer, actually. And it's actually it comes from the galactic center, the Milky Way. The galactic center, that's basically Sagittarius 28, 29 degrees. Huh. Gemini to Cancer energy. So this is going to create a rebirth of one's own vision, inner vision. Yeah. You know what? Because that same verbiage is in this deck. Let me see. Assertion. What's that? 22? 622. Stillness, trust. Come on now. Deepening peace. The way I deepening peace is a deepening of a missing piece. 127. That's a 1. We're going into a 1 year, 2026. Speak to us, beloved high frequency energy. This is wild. Universal light. Because it's connected to the crown chakra, that inner vision card. Open heart. What the fuck? Wow. Breaking out of this web. The matrix that was created external to the collective, and giving back the collective their power to create their own matrix of their own reality. Talk to us. That's where it's at. 355. And this is a massive change when it comes to the way the collective is being able to receive information from extraterrestrial bodies. I'm also getting more so a remembrance of that more than anything. A recalibration of the DNA. 355 encourages you to be clear with yourself about what you believe and what you desire to change. There are many ways to do it, so find your passion. That's literally the energy of 3-Eye Atlas too. It's helping the collective to remember the way of healing their own body. In a way of, first and foremost, trusting yourself and the body. For it to move the way it has been intended to. No longer being in that altered state. There could also be something in regards to, in the practical sense, the way marriage is viewed. Because if you really look at it, in most cultures or whatever the case may be, the woman is being chosen. So there's no longer, that's going to be a change in that, where there's no longer a waiting period, in the sense of knowing that each one is the choice, which could even possibly remove that event of the way marriages are portrayed. When the true actual marriage is the moment you are sexually intimate with the person. 1331 on the time right now. There are many ways to do it, so find your passion, strengths, and inner talents and play your part in the betterment of your own life as well as the upliftment of humanity. This is number 355. It's a message that major life changes are around you. You may be feeling apprehensive or anxious about what lays ahead of you. Know that these changes are happening to advance you along your life path and to help you fulfill your soul mission. You are encouraged to take full advantage of the changes and new opportunities that will present in your life, especially approaching the winter solstice. Your prayers and positive affirmations have manifested these much required changes, so trust that they are correct for you. Everything happens for a reason, and nothing happens by chance. So, even though the reasons for the changes may not be clear at this point, trust that all will land into place for you. These changes have come about so that you can break free from old patterns and restraints. That was what that assimilation, that tighten. There goes, this is why I picked up the deck anyway. There goes the inner wisdom card. So as above, so below, there's a refining of inner wisdom. This, you know what, that's a feeling of Saturn having a much different communication with the collective astrologically, in a sense of, yes, I am resistance, but not the resistance that you've known where I'm putting things on hold, but more so the resistance of, as you're lifting something heavier, you get stronger, especially if you're aware of the mechanics as to what it is that you're lifting that might be heavier. These changes have come about so that you can break free from old restraints and constraints and freely pursue your soul mission and life purpose as a spiritual being. Yo, this is so beautiful. It was at the top of the deck. Inner wisdom balance. Yeah, see? Let's see what else came at that. The missing piece. Trust. Makes total sense. And if we're going deep into this, trust is connected to Scorpio, 8th house matters, but also the knowledge of death or the indoctrination thereof, where there has been a high level of fear invoked on the collective, which now places people in this system or cycle of competing, rushing through things because there is a sense of running out of time, or desiring to fulfill everything that they can because of leaving this realm. But the age of Aquarius is the age of an extension of lifespan. But the missing piece has to do with inner wisdom, because the body is constantly going through a transformation or change, because the cells that you had in your body about 7 years ago are not the same ones you got in your body right now. That's a death process in itself. Just as an example, the layer of your skin, I'm pretty sure it's not funny, but because you do have people that are little, okay, because of a condition. But the example is just, you are not the same body that you had as a newborn. You know what I'm saying? You're not wearing the same clothes you was wearing as a newborn. Let me leave y'all alone. Be true to yourself, 355, which is also connected to 4, 3, 5, 5, 10, 1, 4. Be true to yourself and live accordingly. Dance to the beat of your own drum and trust that your affirmations have been answered. And it's going to be answered in the most unexpected ways. Are you ready? 135 right now, that's a 9. What else? Deepening. A deepening of universal light. Let me see something. I want to be a little bit more open heart. Although the heart doesn't open and close, it's more in alignment. That's what the card says. Let them live. Do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do what y'all do. I do what I do. Real shit. Real rat. Nah. my God. Ooh, yeah. For sure. You're part of Team of Souls calling support. That's the same reflection of that comment too. Three-Eye Atlas, low key. Jody said, I'm here. The energy is calming, honestly, when tuning into it. Oh, shit. Well, it is what it is, huh? Okay. That's for anybody who come up in here and says, "Oh, you really think you can challenge it? There goes your fucking answer. Bye." It's not a think. I know. But yeah, it's open up. That could be of significance too, where people testing your knowledge and shit. Go study mechanics of it first before you start asking some fucking dumbass questions. That's another thing too I was getting was, you know how we say to be nice, which is not positive at all. Being nice and kind of two different things. Nice, you might sit there and lie about what the fuck going on. You know when they say there's no dumb question? I beg to differ. Not I beg. I don't agree with that. Not anymore. Not anymore. Okay? Not anymore. There are questions that, you know what I'm saying, that people have to take the time to really sit, do some research, analyze, and because that really invokes laziness. See, this is my Saturn in Capricorn talking. I don't tolerate shit. Don't have time for it. Not at all. Not with no Saturn in Capricorn at 1 degrees. Leave me the fuck alone with the bullshit. Don't even go nowhere else. This the last time, because you just reached the portal of, now we're about to invoke the energy of, are you ready to master what you came here to do? But anyway, at some stage, we were each part of a soul cluster, a gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience themselves individually. Those who are part of your soul cluster are part of your star family. And by the way I express myself is the perfect example of Mercury and Sagittarius. Especially with that statement of, yes, there are dumb questions. Yes, there are. We're not gonna sit here and play that shit. And you know what I'm saying? And what's that word that people be? What's the word? Enable. Okay, we're not gonna sit here and enable stupidity. That's not to say to be afraid of asking questions. Nah. However, take some time to, because okay, if we go even more in depth into that, as to why people would ask questions that they may be lazy to look up and see and really have, you know, some girth to their question in a sense. It could have something to do with while they were growing up, constantly being told not to say certain things. I get it. But again, astrologically speaking, and you reaching this portal, it's time to cut all the bullshit and looking for people to feel sorry for you. Not you per se, though those of you that listen, but just speaking figuratively, I guess. Not I guess, but whatever. So even with that too, where you might hear me not use certain words, and if I use them, I'm correcting them immediately, because that's just the awareness that I have. And again, it's not for you to express yourself the same exact way. I am just here to assist you with what it is that is being stated and the way that it flows on the grid and what returns back to you. So the quicker you are aware of it, the quicker you can clear it out, because you can name it. You can cancel, clear, and delete that shit so it doesn't 11444, so it doesn't become a part of your reality. You know? But anyway, ditto. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. And this is okay. So everything I'm saying right now, this could be the way some of y'all feel too, for real. Well, you're tired of people's shit. Because enough been enough. Enough been enough. It's enough. Stop. Basically. Especially if you got fire in air. Like, not even like you got fire in your air, highly dominant in your chart, and it's yeah, it's quite active. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together. When it comes to your star family, are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together. Your souls were once actually one. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times, to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light, and to cross paths with each other. You know that someone is part of your star family when you feel as though you know and remember them from the moment you meet. They feel instantly familiar and comfortable. Time both passes quickly and stretches when you're with them. You feel more yourself with them than with anyone else. It can sometimes feel as though looking into a mirror, because in a way you are. Often you'll go out of your way to help those in your star family, instinctively knowing it's part of your path. And this is also a message to recognizing that which is not part of your path and feeling as though it was, because it was connected to part of your path moving as a wounded version of yourself. Ain't doing that shit no more. You got Mars inside. Shout out to you, honey. I love that. When a star family member transitions, you feel it very deeply, regardless how long you knew them. A certain soul warning or soul breaking occurs. Think about the people in your life. Who do you feel is part of your star family? Being that this card comes up in a spread, it's possible that you've met someone who is part of your star family, or you're about to. I love that, especially with the distractive energies of within a few weeks and the compromise, an energy of a compromise. And in seeing this star family energy card show up, just be more aware of where you are at energetically. Are you responding to life from the healed version, or are you reacting and disguising it as a response from the wounded version of yourself? So that way you're able to, 144. Oh, shit. Okay, 11744 on the timer. There's that. Shout out to the soul family. So yeah, there's that. Child of the cosmos at the bottom of the spread. The intelligence of the universe is within you. And shout out to Three Eye Atlas with activating that level of remembrance. This is what that speaks to in terms of the splitting of the earth. Those who are aware, and those who are aware that they're ignorant and choose to remain in that awareness. You have those that are aware that they are evolving and choosing to evolve further, and with the remembrance of the cosmic knowledge and intelligence within them. And you have the other ones that are just waiting for Christ to come. No judgment. That's just what the fuck it is. Okay? So, or waiting to go to heaven. They got the collective with that shit. That's crazy. They had me too. Until I remember, I said, nah, this ain't what, this is not what we came here to do, boo. Nah. Because they be the ones doing the most when it comes to what the commandments tell them not to do. They do exactly that. They want to comfort somebody. I bet we'll go sit the fuck. Anyway. Ain't nothing happened. Me personally, why we speaking that way right now. It's just what the fuck it is. So yeah. It's just what it is. Don't this shit said is exactly that. Karmic relationships. A way to get the collective to repeat a cycle over and over and over and over. The best one is, oh man, when people say, when I leave this planet, you're gonna wish. Ain't nobody gonna wish shit. We might have a better conversation because you on the other side. And now you can see exactly what the fuck I've been talking about this entire time. How about that? Because that's just as heavy as telling somebody, you know what I'm saying? Oh, when I leave this planet, you're gonna. No, no, no. Ain't nobody wishing shit. Because we'll then have the conversations we were supposed to have, because now you get to be in the realm as to what it is that you've been getting warned about when your ass was here in the living. Cracked wide open. 120, 112. So, okay. Why is this energy coming through this way? Why y'all got what going on here? Wait, let me see. What's the planetary? Is this the moon right now? No, it's Saturn. That's what. Oh God. Wow. Currently, based on my location, we're in a Saturn hour. Hold on, y'all. With my eye. So, for some of you, there's something here in regards to a paternal uncle, an uncle on your father's side. 123, 28. What about that? Okay. Old car, old hits die hard, back in the time, nostalgia, stuck in the past. In regards to a father or your uncle from your father's side, stuck in the past, and it has a major effect on the way the family moves. or the way you operate in relationships. Let's see. Mother load. It could be something pertaining to land and property. Something was not permitted by law. There could be some significance to oil and iron related businesses. That was, nothing's random. Nothing. Saturn hour. Saturn hour message needs restoration. Pisces, but this is hidden enemy energy, hidden motives, karmic relationship, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. And you saw what was being stated in regards to someone leaving. You're part of a team of souls calling support. So let's say you got a grandmother or a grandfather on the other side that basically passed on the mantle to you, passed on a gift to you. So much so you can feel exactly the way that they are protecting but also perceiving the family, and the family may not listen to you in regards what should and should not be done, just from a moral standpoint. But that's also subjective, because now we're looking at good or wrong, good and bad, right or wrong, and not so much the universal law, but the connection you have in terms of the authority you've been given to even analyze and provide solutions to a situation has everything to do with the connection to universal law, which allows you to operate from a much mature level. Cleanup time is what I was drawn to. Cleanup time of things of back in the time and family patterns. I love that this live, it was the vibe of the way I used to be on live for so long. That's that new moon in Sagittarius spark, baby. Much more beyond that, but not but. Hold on, I'm gonna double check something here. Libra shows up again with the Orion energy and Aquarius. Libra, Aquarius, there was Aquarius showing up again. And there goes the within a few weeks card. This is the second time this same statement is coming through. So 2 months could be significant, or February. What about this? Because The message before this was connected to romance that was influenced or affected by family issues. Now, this is speaking to the family issue. So the person that could be coming in, once you get to the root of it, you might think the situation has to do with a particular person in the group, but the root of that energy may be a cousin, or auntie, or uncle, something of the sorts. When we're looking at it from a physical standpoint, whereas you start to weed out, could be an air sign. That's crazy. You or them could be an air sign. Let me see. Who's the air sign? Let's see. You got the death card here at the bottom of the deck, and then justice peeping. Oh, shit. The air sign, page of pentacles. This is insane. Someone keeps doing the same thing over and over again because they're used to you responding the same way. Something as simple as you always respond. Some of y'all, it's okay. Leave them on red or block the person. Especially if they keep moving in a way that they keep doing the same shit over and over and over again. They don't get it. They keep repeating a family pattern. And they could be manifesting ways to open communication up again. 88, 55, 588. 85, 88. What's at the bottom here? Four of Swords. You've been healing in solitude. Billie Holiday. Gratitude. Greetings. Saggy. Show me more about this here. Let me see something. Somebody regrets the way they spoke to you. Fuck. I see why. Damn. What's the 411, huh? They thought they had it going on. The tower. Military time, that's 4 o'clock. 1600, that's 4 o'clock. That's what I'm saying, 411, yeah. Someone desires to apologize. Let me, I'm about to be hella nosy. Okay. Third quarter. They've been doing some reevaluating, I see. Huh? Fucker. Oh shit. Hagalaz. Some of you recently did an egg cleanse, and this is exactly why. They could feel the cord that's been cut. Okay. This ain't that type of space. Vanessa. Read the room, honey. Read the room. And stop allowing people to just read up in your energy. I don't know how long you've been here. Gratitude for feeling as though, you trust this space, but stop doing that, going everywhere, because y'all gotta cease people from pulling on your energy and shit. There are consequences to that. Be more with yourself. This is the rune Hagalaz, which speaks of destructive forces of nature, elemental hail. Don't attempt to fix what should break before it breaks you. It's literally what this rune represents. Oh, shit. Psychoanalysis, that's Scorpio energy. Exercising disharmony, being an exorcist of disharmony, inevitable fate, weird, supernatural. Something has happened in a situation that you've given a warning about to prevent. There goes the energy of being able to prevent others from having a tower moment, but still be able to master the lesson. You basically told someone something who's fucking hard-headed, obviously. You've warned them time and time again. You could have Saturn in Capricorn too. Or if this is you on the other end of it and the Saturn in Capricorn told you about some shit and you ain't listening, I see what the fuck going on here now for sure. That egg cleanse. Chosen. Choice one. Speaking of the only choice. Elect of the Most High. Human God body. Purple shirt. Solar plexus. The great solar flash. Son of Saturn. High priestess. Let me see. Yeah, someone has been lying here. Cut all cords of dependency. Then we got the third deacon, which is where we're at right now when it comes to the sun being in Sagittarius at 29 degrees. Making things happen before reality intervenes. So this could be where you possibly expose someone for their false optimism and borrowed belief systems and spiritual bypassing in alignment to their empty promises. Anything that sounded good but actually lacked integrity. That could have been the warning you've been giving somebody. Shit sound good, but you still fucking lying though. Sprucing shit up to make it seem as though, nah. Not with this shit showing up. Now, you know what? This is what the fuck we gonna do. Let me keep these in order so that way. Excuse the loud sounds. But we gonna get to the bottom of this shit here. We fucked up. Oh, come up in this space? Yeah, now. Read your ass right up on out of here. Energetically. Let's see. Okay. Because it really feels as though there has been hidden situations going on amongst family that's keeping people from really being in a higher level commitment. Whether this has to do with your purpose, romantic partnership, you know. Show me the current energy. Suffering and silence. Yeah, they okay, so they can't talk to you then, obviously. This is, what is this? Mars. You're done suffering in silence about this situation, collective. The fact that this is Mars, so this is personal. So you're done suffering in silence, or you've been suffering in silence. Clarify. About this situation. about a significant family pattern, specifically having to do with the mother side, or you're not repeating the cycle with your own children, but specifically you're no longer suffering in silence about a maternal figure. This doesn't just have to be a mother. This could be someone who moves in that way. Angel of strength, okay, helping you through this. And the fact that it's a fire sign to help through this is you passionately, courageously moving through this shit, no longer suffering in silence. So some of you may actually say something, and you're possibly a person that you, okay, so the universe is giving you the green card to go ahead and say what you have to say. But as you're saying what you have to say, make sure it's is concrete, it's to the point. You're not buttering the shit up. You saying what the fuck you have to say and just say it. If that's not what's going to happen, don't say anything at all. Okay. What's the challenge here? Something turn. Partnerships and alliances. So both sides are showing up here. With the fact that this is Sun and Aries, this has to do with your father, your career, purpose, and who you truly are. You've been suffering in silence when it comes to who you are and living in that light. Wow, I'm telling you, it certainly had an effect on, that shit just ran up on out there. 733, there's a lot of threes showing up here. 33, 33. 7 and 9 and 16, that's the tower right there. Saturn and Taurus, patience and planning. Have your moment, right? When it comes to the way you feel about shit. And really take it up to the ante when it comes to you knowing exactly the role that certain people or family members have in your life, especially when it comes to Chiron placements. So if you have Chiron in water signs, specifically 4th house or Cancer, this is certainly talking about, a lot of your wounds come from family. And anything you have in those water houses, those are houses of endings. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, those are houses of endings. So whatever is there has to go through a massive transformation. Okay? Just as it said here. Let me see, where are you at? Just as it says here. Okay? Family patterns that continue to be passed on one generation to the next, that you're now here to clean up by you not moving in the same way, because it can be changed. You know what I'm saying? So your deepest wounds literally comes from family, specifically mother energy. And the fact that it says cannot be changed, that's usually the message of, oh, that's powerful. That's the message of Chiron, in the sense that people know it as a wound that you cannot heal, but you can heal it. You heal it by basically no longer carrying that cross, 144.04 on the timer. The moment you stop carrying that cross and cross for others, you can transmute that wound into a power, into wisdom. What's the basis of this, beloved? Okay, let's see. Stand your ground, absolutely. Stand your ground. Mars and Leo. You've been standing your ground, at least you will be. Or you have been. There's no need for you to feel guilty or ashamed or any of that shit because you said what you had to say. And for some of you, this has to do with someone that is near and dear to your heart. This could be a sibling, a parent, whatever. But you said what you had to say because the thing is, people don't realize the effect that they have on you based on the way that they respond or react to you. Now, it's not in their position to be able to understand the way you feel. It's up to you to understand the way you feel so you can, you know what I'm saying, respond accordingly in regards to you're no longer tolerating that shit. Especially when you're coming from a religious background and they're constantly shoving it down through people's minds and throats is that, pause, is the fact of, oh, honor your mother and father. But no one really says the line that comes up right up on after that. Do not agitate your children. Using certain verses subjectively. And those verses, the way that they're written, the Bible itself is a grimoire. It's a literal spell, but you can put it into a curse if you're not reading it thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of knowing your astrological placements. Because you get to see, you may not know these other people's charts, but you know their sun sign at least. And if there's something in your chart that aligns with that type of energy, you really get to the gist of why they're even showing up, especially when it comes to their sun sign, what they're exposing to you. And then utilizing your chart is when you can actually use the power of silence and communication, not in the sense that you're weak, no, in the sense that you're allowing the universe to take its course. You want to see somebody get an ass whooping? A cosmic ass whooping? So much so, once you realize the power that comes with that, you really might be, you would warn people to your blue in the face about not fucking with you, but the audacity they have to cross you and not wipe their ass properly, they choose to get besides they fucking selves. 14:14 on the clock right now. Telling you. What's in the immediate past? One thing is for sure, I'm gonna roll with the collective. But if they're 147:47, but if the collective, the energy, the messages is coming through where collective is fucking up, I'm on your ass. That's just transparency. That type of shit make you uncomfortable? This ain't the place for you. And furthermore, once again, I'm not looking at you face to face, but if you feel the energy is resonating with you, and it feels as though we're having a personal one-on-one conversation, then you start feeling some type of way. You know when that usually happens, actually? That happens when, let's say, people encounter me first by watching me deliver a message. And it resonates. The shit is almost word for word. I've never spoken to you in person, ever. Then you decide that you want to book with me. And this is part of a scenario where, depending on the message, the vibe that I'm getting, I usually don't take on that type of person to read for them because it's exactly what the fuck they're gonna do. You come across this channel requesting the personal. You receive your personal. You enjoy the personal so much that as you begin to hear further messages along the way, you feel as though somebody's speaking to your situation precisely or speaking about you. When the initial meet was you seeing me on this channel describing something that happened verbatim for you when we never even had a conversation. But this is what I mean about, I already know when somebody's gonna move that way. I'm just the one that's gonna help you to cross that bridge. With the faith that once you get over this hurdle of the bullshit, feeling as though someone is talking about you because you give a fuck about what somebody else is saying, and you want to play a role where you didn't move that way or you wasn't moving that way, yeah, you fucked around and found out. This also allows the person to grow, which is basically the objective. Then you got those who feels as though they get around you, they know every way and which way that you move, and want to have this sense of entitlement. That's bullshit there with entitlement over the way someone moves, perceives life, and oh, I thought you didn't do this. Watch yourself, because you don't know the role that this person is playing in that person's life. Or now, where the person's getting beside themselves with that entitlement, now you fucked yourself over 10 times over. Because now you picking up the karmic lesson that this person is going through because of a sense of entitlement. Survival, just know your place and move through there. Shout out to y'all collective. People be playing too much, y'all. The immediate prize. Look at that. 777. 21. The world. Completion of a cycle. Saturn. Lesson. Many lessons of going through situations where one is no longer deceiving themselves about exactly what the fuck is in front of them. Really seeing the situation before it even shows up. Some of you really have a specific role in this evolution that we're having on this planet. Very significant when it comes to cleanup time. And moving in a way where it allows those that are going through the process of cleanup to even connect to the audacity to feel entitled to move a certain way. Not recognizing they met a representative of their maker in a sense. This is actually coming through as a shapeshifter type of energy, honestly. From a high vibrational standpoint, or the understanding of it. Not so much high vibration, but the understanding of a shapeshifter. Where you're able to adapt to situations to move accordingly. In a sense of seeing how far people would go. Some may say, well, why would you place yourself through that? The person that asks that level of question, especially when the person that is actually putting themselves through that is aware of what they're doing, and the person that questions basically their authority is one who is not equipped to move that way. And that is okay, but that audacity and entitlement is what I'm speaking to in terms of they are required to go sit the fuck down. Show me more about this immediate past energy. Recognition and reward. Mars and Capricorn. Man. This was all building up to this moment right here, right now, where Mars is in Capricorn. Which means, once again, this is all about execution. Consequences finally arriving. 1:55:11 on the timer, 2:22 on the clock. What's crowning this message here? Wow. So, this is the Six of Pentacles. This could be a Moon, Venus, and Taurus type of energy. For some of you, this has to do with the awareness of your emotional body when it comes to the way you value your emotional body, and where there was an absence of reciprocation from someone that you've allowed into your emotional body space. Where this is the moment to confront it, because this is the card that's coming out for what's crowning. So what's at the forefront of your mind. This could be something where, in regards to the suffering and silence, that it's time to face it head on. But we're going to place it back. We're going to see what actually shows up here. 156:26. Gratitude for the thumbs up, beloved. Victory and success. I heard just don't skip steps. Just make sure you get everything clear and squared away. Moon in Cancer. Emotional body when it comes to fourth house matters or family. Or your first experience of a soul tribe, the family you were born into. Because again, this is what's reading on karmic relationships, where we were getting more into, okay, the first message was talking about the romance of it, the romance that you are about to encounter as a result of healing family issues. And this is reading into the family issues, where calling and support has to do with the root, the initial aspects of the family that you come from, and tracing the steps backwards to catapult or quantum leap forward with a new set of ways when it comes to moving in this world. Because there's something here about impoverished mindsets, scarcity tactics, relationships where people are just in them just to keep the family together, when that's the most destructive fucking thing people can do, especially with children. Staying in marriages just to keep a family unit together, when it's dysfunctional as fuck. No, that shit is not okay. Because now what happens? The child grows up with this level of dysfunction amongst a union as the norm. Shout out to those of you who don't tolerate that shit, but you still allow that other parent to have their, their connection to that child. But you're not forcing a relationship just to have them around, which is only going to enable that child to see what disrespect is and not what honor, respect, unconditional love truly is. or staying or being around external family members that move in a way that is not healthy for a child, or a child in the sense of, doesn't matter what age they are at this point. It's your child, the someone you gave birth to, you help to create child around external family members when they're not in the space of evolving. They're in the space of wanting to do the same shit over and over again, expecting a different result. Tell me more. I just heard you're getting the messages about what's helping you to step into victory and success out of these combative, confusing situations, especially if it has to do with family. Yeah, absolutely. Three of Swords, heartache and loss. Have your period of mourning, but don't remain there. Because that was just simply as stated with the Three of Swords, a lesson when it comes to seeing the truth of what it means to embody the truth of yourself and be a magnet to that which respects and honors that. Saturn and Libra with the Three of Swords. And that could be, the current situation as well. Not could be, but that's what this current situation is indicating. That what's at the forefront of your mind is that you know that you'll be in a much better state, physically, mentally, spiritually, on all levels, if you just allow yourself to accept why is it that you would have to remain silent or separate from certain people that you love dearly. But anytime that you're around them, your health declines, your money declines, your relationships are fucked up. That might be the only great thing about it, in the sense of, if you're in a relationship and you have family members around you that whenever they come around you, your relationship goes to shit. That person that you're in a relationship with is possibly connected to a frequency where you're evolving to, and they may not have the capacity or the mechanics to even be able to be with you moving forward, because they match the frequency of the family bullshit that's going on. But through these processes, you've been reestablishing your core when it comes to the worth, the way you see yourself, the way you value yourself, especially when it comes to Taurus energy, responding and being aware of what your senses are telling you, your five bodily senses, which is connected to Taurus. With this Saturn and Taurus card here, patience and planning. Part of that process of being patient was getting to the truth, the core, as to why you feel the way you feel. This could even have something very specific to do with the sibling, especially because the Gemini or third house speaks to siblings. Either you're the younger one, or this could be one younger than you, or if this could be a parent who is the youngest. Or an aunt and uncle who is the youngest, as far as the sibling to your parent. And the way that it may even affect your relationship with your parent. What's next? I love to see it. 3s and 7s are there's a lot of 3 in here. So communication, 3s and 7s are real strong in this. What's next is the fact that you'll be rejoicing in celebration. I want to see with what or whom. Got a slight little ring in the left ear. Some of you have a loved one that you, well, there would be a loved one that's on the other side that is really assisting you at this time, with it being an ancestor that you are aware of. This could be a cousin, aunt, uncle. It's just one that you have a real strong connection to. They're helping you, and they're helping you. They've held you back to help you and are also helping you to move forward. You learned the best lesson. This won't be for all because this is specific. You learned the best lesson, which actually helped you to break through, with a partner who shares the same sign, even further month and sign of that loved one that transitioned. So if that loved one is a Taurus, born in April, you learned your greatest lesson on how to move forward in a relationship that you may not even be in right now, but someone who shares that same energy. Wow. 16603, 1433, 233 on the time. What is this? Rejoicing celebration. That's next. Moving on. You can't make this shit up. That's confirming that, because the way it landed is in a challenging position right on top of patience and planning, which has to do with restrictions when it comes to aligning with a vibrational match when it comes to your worth. And also a release of finances. There could have been something that was on hold financially because you were around the inappropriate people or energies, and now that's being unleashed. Rejoice in celebration as a result of moving on. And the Six of Swords is a card of Mercury in Aquarius, where the way I notice that works, because I have that as a progress sign right now, where you have a knowing of what's happening next, even for the long term. And it downloads itself within your psyche and your generator and your brain, that, let's say if a message comes through a dream, step by step as to the way the next 10 years is going to move, and you don't remember that dream, but because it downloaded into your generator, into your brain and into your psyche, you know how to take steps moving forward without second guessing it. That's literally what this is, in the sense of trusting the universe to every step that you take moving forward. That's literally this. Moving on, moving through portals. This could even be timeline shifts, where it helps you with where, currently you may be a little offbeat in terms of remaining silent, especially if it's something you really want to, that you want to voice it, but your desires are telling you that shit is beneath you. It's really beneath you. There's two sides to it. It's time to be a little bit more vocal, but be precise in what it is that you are being vocal about. Execute that energy. Say what you have to say and move that way. Don't say something and then move in a way as though you're taking back what you just said. Let's see what's at the bottom here. Yep. Finances were on hold until you've gone through the transformation. So so what was being said was that what was that? You were suffering in silence for a bit, but you recognize your value. Over time, obviously. It took some maturing. That's what it is. You have to mature. Or you notice that someone could be, let's say, 20 to 30 years up on you when it comes to age, and they lack maturity completely. There's an absence of it there. Instead of lack, there's an absence of it. One more. No? Okay. Advice? What's the advice? There goes the Two of Swords. Advice pertaining to the mental conflict. Libra, Moon in Libra. Let me see. Firm foundation. Sun in Capricorn. I feel as though that's the Capricorn energy again. In terms of being decisive, relentless, execute, make a decision. Get out of this self-sabotage or this fear of a loss. Because holding on to that which is time for you to move on from, it won't be beneficial to your nervous system at all. And there goes the energy I was picking up on at the beginning in regards to someone's lower back, root chakra, sacral. So, okay, that's intriguing. With the root chakra, Saturn, sacral is connected to Jupiter. Where there could have been a level of obstruction of fluidity in the way that you create because of a lack of trust. So, okay. The advice is in regards to this mental conflict, because the conflict is being created by fear and guilt. It's something about someone being body conscious as well. You don't see yourself the way your higher self sees you, or who you actually are. It's like it's as if you have wool over your eyes. Yeah, you're seeing a reflection that is not you. Okay. You're seeing a reflection. And this could have been the burden you've been carrying, helping someone to carry. And the moment you release that, you'll be able to rebuild your foundation. Obviously, whatever this reflection is, it has a lot to do with not feeling safe, protected, or secure. This could even be one's own perspective on success in matters of career path. where you might not even be in this state of fulfillment with what it is that you've been doing, especially as you peel the layers off of these family patterns, which enables you to really get to the core of yourself. And that's okay. You're actually going through a process of shedding. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, you are beautiful or handsome, whoever this is that doesn't feel this way about themselves. Especially with the sacral energy showing up, because it has to do with something sexual as well. Clarify mental conflict, because instead of someone feeling through, they become numb to the feeling that everything has went to the mental sphere. A deeper meaning. Yeah, see Cancer. Never felt, not feeling provided for. The advice is to let go of the fear that came from that and the guilt. This could be where you begin to do things for yourself and people make you feel a ways because you're no longer present as much as you used to be. But your presence was more so you moving from an empty cup. Now, that could be a conversation some of you are desiring to have with a significant person. You would want to ground yourself into the reasons of that conversation by having that conversation with yourself as the elder, or as the, because this could be someone that is this is a dynamic of someone being younger and speaking to someone older. Or for some of you, this could be a conversation that your child wants to have if they're vocal enough to express themselves in a mature way. Is a reason why an age is not being attached to it right now or aligned with it. It's just a matter of being able to express oneself maturely based on observation. One 7744, 1444. A lot of fours showing up there. True feelings. You're in conflict with your true feelings. And that's only increasing fear in other areas of life. But you already know, you know the truth. So that's the battle right there. The mental conflict, the two sides of it. You know that there's victory and success in you honoring your truth, your authenticity, and who you truly are. And on another side of it, there's a significant partnership where you feel as though it's coming to an end because of you being and living in your truth. You're not afraid to do that, where we may be in a situation where a loved one is afraid or uncomfortable with doing something that is actually easier than moving the way that they are moving now, making themselves susceptible to a lack mindset. You got here resources, materials, wealth, blood. Yeah. Spring. Someone could be born during the spring season. Roots, grounded. Yeah, there's a lot of emotion or liquid energy. This could be, for some of you, you may have noticed that a form of escapism for you might be drinking more than you desire to. Something happens and then you notice that it triggers you to drink, because it's liquid, is having a lot to do with honoring your emotions and really sitting with the spirit in motion at that time in regards to what's within you without the use of something external. This could even be someone who, something in regards to liquid courage, saying certain things when under the influence. There's a lot that's coming through there. So, okay. Show me what's in the environment. How is the collective being viewed? How is the collective being viewed? Well, it won't be as challenging as you expect it to be, especially with the star card showing up. We ain't doing that hope shit over here, okay? With the star card in the environment, as to the way you're being viewed, and why I'm saying it won't be as challenging for you to make the decision that you know is going to be victorious and successful, is because people see exactly why you're moving. People will see why you're moving the way you're moving, even if the past interactions were brutal, verbally, for some physically. Basically, there'll be an understanding that doesn't have to be verbally expressed as to why you're choosing to move the way you're moving. Let me see here. Yeah, harmony. Look at that. Ashe. This could also be where people respect you, but they may not have the courage to tell you that. Because of how they moved with you, around you, with other people. The image I'm getting, let's say it's you, your brother or sister, and a cousin. But when you and your brother or sister is just y'all, everything's cool. But when you get around your cousin, you notice that there's a shift with your sibling, because there's obviously communication happening between those two that you may not even be aware about until you make the decision to move a certain way. And this is what I mean in regards to people beginning to honor and respect you, but may not have the balls to do so, to say so. Although you don't require that level of validation, it's just what it is. We got the waiting game here. Yeah, see. Someone didn't expect you to shift the way you did. And that could also be contributing to this suffering and silence as the current energy, as that's a Mars and Gemini card, 9 of Swords, where you're noticing where people really didn't have your best interests at heart. Well, there was a lack of support there. At this point, it feels as though we're storytelling. This obviously shouldn't even be here. This is from a different deck. The Wisdom Oracle deck, to be exact. What's this? Chaos and conflict, 33. Yo, what the fuck, yo? It led to chaos and conflict in relationships. So let's say, you've encountered being in unions, but you're still connected to certain family members. That's why those level of relationships didn't blossom. Awareness, the Magician, reverse. They they wasn't aware of who you actually are, which is fine. That ain't for them to know. Because they don't know how passionate you are about yourself and your purpose, with this being Mars and Aries. Aries energy has to do with passions and your identity. Of course, they're not going to be aware of you, of the way you feel about you. That's none of their business, for real. Some of you could be a manifesting generator in human design, which is significant in terms of you may come across as a person who's always starting something but never finish it. That's why they may be seeing you in a certain light, because you're the one that's the initiator. You're not the one that continues it and closes it. No, you initiate stuff. You get it going. Then whomever else is involved is supposed to move on, continue the process. One more. Oof. Wow. I'm getting strongly the way one speaks to oneself and the truth of self, throat chakra. But again, having to do with, you know exactly what you're capable of because of the experiences you've gone through and the way, it attributes to the way you feel about reality, which in turn causes you to move a certain way. Yeah, there's a lot of change that's happening here in regards to communication, especially coming out of that suffering and silence energy. Show me the connection between the way they're being viewed in the current energy. You are, said I am. Let me see. Did it come up? Well, thank you for confirming that. Happening now. And you see how lovey-dovey these two are. Okay. You see it come out in a challenging position, literally in the same way that your current energy, well, no, not the current energy, but what was the main card? Oh, partnerships and alliances was the challenge, and it landed that way. Here we have what? Wow. Serendipity, patience paying off. Oof. Completion of a cycle when it comes to family. Cancer, 4th house. Well, my beautiful and handsomes, get ready. Godsend. You see how the camera is literally focusing? That's the same way that your abundance is moving with you. The planning process is it's focusing itself. And then 9 and 7, that's the tower. Anything can happen at any given moment. 188.05, 14:55 on the timer. Manifesting wealth. I'm loving the way this energy is moving right here. Let's get additional information in regards to the advice about releasing hopes and fears. They was hoping you weren't, oh fuck. They was really hoping you wouldn't become aware. And when I say they, I'm speaking more so to looking at it from more so of a energetic perspective. So we're not looking at a specific person. To get to the root of it, you want to look at it from an energy standpoint, where there was a disruptive frequency that obviously wasn't in alignment to yours, was hoping, which is connected to fear, you wouldn't recognize yourself. Now we can take it there in the sense of where it's important that the ego surrenders to the soul and the spirit and not the other way around. Or finally releasing an old version of you, basically moving through and from a healed state rather than the wounded version of yourself. Because that would also help with anything that you may be suffering in silence about. The suffering is connected to the wound, transmuted by recognizing its purpose. And this is where, on a practical sense, utilize your natal chart. Yes, I am open for personals. You just have to email me and just let me know. I am looking to book a personal with you, and I will follow up with you. The information is in the description box in regards to my email. 19019 on the timer. 1919. What's in this position here? Okay, having to do with recognizing past deception and envy, specifically having to do with being aware of it, but not fully taking proper action. Message is harmony. You're being granted an opportunity to make a decision specifically about what it is that you've been suffering in silence about. Gemini here. The Lover's card is the major arcana for the Gemini, but it's also connected to the energies of Raphael, if we're looking at Regulus, but more so Aldebaran as well. There's a lot of power in your voice at this time, especially when there's a fresh ascension from the heart chakra in taking the advice of releasing fear, which aligns you with your root chakra activated, releasing the guilt, which aligns you back with your sacral chakra of creativity as well as sexual fulfillment, and the ability to accept change, because now that would allow you to become more aware and disciplined when it comes to the way you utilize your solar plexus, your willpower, what you can do, and no longer doing things because you can, but beyond that, you're tired and you're not fully yourself, but you're still doing things that is basically an indication of betraying yourself. So once there's a release of the fear and the guilt, now you're back in alignment with an activated root and sacral. There's safety, there's security, there's this level of groundedness. And then into the sacral chakra, where there's an activation of fluidity, grace, creativity, being able to feel through situations much deeper, to be able to align with the appropriate decisions and actions. And now you're being mindful as to what it is you decide that you can and will do. And then you raise up to the heart chakra, where now what you can and will do is always in connection to love, because there's an alignment of the foundation of it, which is why I say that understanding is personal. Because the understanding really begins to show itself through as an understanding once what stands under the heart chakra, the root, sacral, and solar plexus are activated and you're in alignment with it. So this is what I'm saying, that your throat chakra has a significant power to it at this time in taking that level of advice of releasing the fear and the guilt, because now you're able to connect to Venus energies, where you're no longer lying to yourself and you're speaking truth and you're executing the truth that you speak. Basically, once you say something, your actions follow up. Okay? Because the throat chakra is connected to Venus. So if you find yourself having issues with expressing yourself, look to your Venus placement. Okay, show me more. Reactivating soul memory over here. Welcome to Antares. One more. Further advice. Oh, you got two. Yes. Shit. Confirm it, baby. Truth. Oh, no more sacrificing the truth. Some of you been doing this since 2012. Sacrificing the truth. It's a long time. It's time for change. Right here, right now. Especially over the next 6 months. With the passion and awareness of the new moon in Sagittarius. Wow, this is beautiful. Because that really aligns with everything we just said just now. Because that explanation is actually going to allow you to become the lotus in your life, where you're breaking free and out the mud. And recognizing that you don't require, the closure from someone by having a conversation with them. Because as you're doing that deep inner work, that's when you come to those level realizations. And the way someone feels about your actions when it comes to being silent or pulling away, pulling your energy back to yourself and away from these energies that don't honor you, it becomes easier to move with that decision. Basically, when people say no hard feelings, literally that. It's just you're more aware now. And that's the way it'll actually help those same loved ones to make a change in their life. It's not you explaining it to them, and especially if they are not willing to listen or to take heed to what you tell them. They'll see it through your actions. They'll see how unbothered you are. They'll see how much better your skin begins to flourish and your body's looking amazing. You're taking trips here and there. You're in a blossoming relationship because you're unbothered and minding your business. The outcome. We've been on here for a minute. This remind me of the way we really be doing lives over here. Oh, baby. Come through, universe. Oof. 1220 up there in terms of thumbs up and the amount of people here at this time, which is this. Oh, not that, but yeah, it looked that way. Anyway, the universe as the outcome, completion of a cycle, which comes with reward. I mean, hello, man holding the heart. Let's get it. Angel of love. And look who I said, make sure if you call on this one here, you are stepping in and ready for the cycle to be closed. This one here, don't play them games. Okay, so we're going to play some here. Come through, Archangel Michael, for the collective. Wow. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. That's that 13. That's a 4. Wow. This is a beautiful balance of a union showing up that has nothing, that is a removal of attachments. So the fact that this is showing up, that means that there's an alignment of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is governed by the sun. So you're aware of your purpose. You've cleared up any fatherly issues or shit, bring it full circle, why don't we? Or just that aspect of the masculine energy as far as being able to process information, if we're looking at it from a Saturn perspective, feeling safe. Because the crown chakra says, I am safe, the universe protects me, I am full of life energy. But the way to connect to the crown is through removing anything that you're attached to. The bringing of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and spiritual connection, and therefore bliss, through the angel of love, with the man holding the heart. I really feel as though in even the way the message, this entire live moved energetically, is the way some of you could literally be going through phase by phase in regards to getting to the bottom of things. Because notice how chill and understanding the energy is right now. And that's the way, you know, the readings here do move. It's going through the emotions of what the collective is feeling, but with the awareness of, okay, we're going to have to bring this shit full circle, though. We're going to have to close it out and move on to greater life. You know what I'm saying? So, you want to give them one more, beloved, as the outcome. The universe is on your side, literally. The universe protects you. Oop, with the solar plexus. Mars energy, where now you're releasing shame, where you express your emotions freely and respectfully, while also realizing your talents and what brings you joy. By allowing yourself to this is deep, by allowing yourself to emotionally withdraw from things that have had a very deep impression, and you notice this bluish color or teal, but the blue having to do with the throat chakra, because there's the completion of the cycle that we was talking about in regards to the way understanding operates through the wheels or the chakras. Speaking of the wheels, that's what you got here. Is that, do we place it at the top? Oh, we already shuffled them through, bro. Let me see. But yeah, the wheel of karma, which was there they go. This was exactly what we had at the very beginning. What led us to here. And then this is right under the person of air energy, unconditional love, soulmates, uncommon bond, timeless, infinite love, earth, where there's not an overextension of oneself. Wow. But yeah, and speaking of the wheels of the chakras, because that's basically the depiction of chakras, is just wheels of energy that if they're off, if the wheel of your root chakra or the root wheel is off, now that's sending signals throughout your body to put you in a state of fear. And astrologically, the way you figure that out, what could do that or induce that is your Saturn placement. For your sacral is your Jupiter placement. For your solar plexus is your Mars. For the heart chakra, that would be the bridge of getting into a higher vibration the moment you handle the first three of Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. Root, sacral, solar plexus. Then you get into Venus, throat chakra. And it's wild that the crown chakra is actually the sun, but the mind's eye is connected to light. just the energy of light. So 4 and 6. This is also when you look at 4 and 6, because it's Cancer is the 4th house, the moon, mother energy, or the womb. This can also show to the start of it where there is, the suppression or the lack of knowledge of the feminine principle. And once again, even when it comes to marriage, where in most cultures the woman is chosen, when both sides are the choice. So there's certain systems that are put in place that can really alter the mind if one is not aware. No, not saying don't get married. No, that's not what's being said. It's the mechanics of it. That before people are meeting each other at the altar, one has to make a decision to make another a choice. There's a way of living in love unconditionally without that level of being. It's quite stressful in a sense, especially with the psychology that comes into play in regards to relationships and the whole journey that one goes through when it comes to that. You know what I mean? But yes, loves. That is your message for this Saturn day, post new moon in Sagittarius. As a matter of fact, let's see something here. I did have something for you. 313. Yeah, so let's go through all the signs. Quick message for all the signs rising. You can use this for your sun and moon, but I'm going to say the signs and you do as you will. Aries, this window, post new moon, Sagittarius, this window confronts your public identity. Your beliefs are being tested through outcomes. If something you stand for does not produce integrity in career or reputation, it will be challenged. So for you, Aries, move and act as a leader, not a reactor. Emotional restraint is your strength now. Authority comes from consistency, not volume. Taurus, values, finances, and self-worth are being restructured. Sudden realizations about what you will no longer tolerate are stabilizing, not disruptive. Let go of outdated income strategies. Invest in skills, not appearances. Silence around money decisions protects momentum. Gemini, your worldview is shifting. Conversations, teachings, contracts, and belief systems reach a point of no return. Speak carefully. Your words now echo longer than usual. Choose truth over cleverness. What you learned or teach during this window reshapes your trajectory. And this is something to keep in mind over the next 6 months as well. Cancer, shared resources, emotional entanglements, and power dynamics surface. This is about reclaiming sovereignty, release guilt-based obligations. So for you, Cancer, because that word has shown up, this could be a blockage of the sacral, okay? Poor child. Anyway, true intimacy now requires transparency, not sacrifice for Cancer risings. So once again, some of you could, that could be the same exact scenario. Let me see. Look at the message. It says, chat, please don't believe the show she's putting on. She's very hurt in spirit, which ain't the truth, obviously. But that could be significant for some of you when it comes to family or people that you allowed near your emotional center. Okay? So, share the resources, emotional entanglements, and power dynamics surface. This is about reclaiming sovereignty, and that's the way we transmute and transcend energy, where it shows itself as we're speaking on Cancer's energy, which is the moon. So it truly revealed itself, where people could be projecting where they are at energetically within their own emotions. And the more unbothered you are, the more you're able to see it as, okay, you're moving as a mirror for this type of energy where now they have to see themselves. Where in the past you may have moved as a reflection and, you know what I mean, constantly did the back and forth unnecessarily, really. So, Cancer, this is about reclaiming sovereignty, release guilt-based obligations. Financial or energetic debts must be clarified. True intimacy now requires transparency, not sacrifice. Leo, relationships are under review. Commitments that lack shared ethics or direction strain. You are asked to lead through integrity, not performance. Do not chase validation and let alignment choose for you. Virgo rising. Daily systems, health, and responsibilities demand restructuring. Overgiving and micromanagement dissolve. Simpler routines bring greater productivity. Tend to the body quietly as your efficiency becomes visible through results and not explanation. Libra. Creative force and desires are recalibrated. Romance, art, and pleasure must align with truth and self-respect. Anything draining your vitality without reciprocation loses appeal. Follow what expands joy without chaos. Scorpio. While the Mercado might be significant, I almost said that the same way. Scorpio. That's a throwback. Home, family, and emotional foundations come into focus. Old patterns surface to be resolved, not relived. Create stability through boundaries, not control. Emotional maturity now determines future security. Sagittarius. This is your culmination point. Identity, values, and direction crystallize. No more conceptual living, only lived truth. Speak, decide, and act from your deepest conviction. What ends now clears the path forward cleanly. Capricornio. Mental habits and communication patterns are purified. Say less, mean more. And gossip, over explaining, or internal noise. Stillness sharpens intuition. Your power increases through restraint. Aquarius rising. Self worth and resources transform. You are stepping into a new relationship with money and value. Old definitions of success collapse. Build according to future relevance, not past validation. And Pisces. This is a full identity reset. Old versions dissolve without ceremony. Protect your energy fiercely. You are not meant to explain your evolution. Move quietly. This is a rebirth through clarity, not confusion. Yeah, be on y'all shit, collective, because the energies of distraction are working overtime without pay. Oh, shit. Okay, so, yeah, I got this. Okay. I will be here. I may come back on live a little bit later. If you haven't tuned in with me over on TikTok, please feel free to do so, as that's where we can jam with some music and we can really vibe out. with some tunes or whatever. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I love you. See you on the next live. Ciao.